Welcome to The Explainer. I want you to imagine, just for a second, walking through a post-apocalyptic movie set. You know the kind. It's filled with slow, sluggish zombies, just trashing everything in sight. Well, what if I told you that exact scene isn't just science fiction, it is literally playing out inside your body's tissues right now?
It sounds kind of intense, I know, but think about those mornings where you're struggling to roll out of bed, maybe you're grabbing a stiff knee joint, or just dealing with this endless, heavy brain fog. A lot of times, we just chalk this up to, I'm just getting older, right? But the reality is actually so much more fascinating. The hidden root cause behind all that daily fatigue and stiffness, it's actually the accumulation of microscopic cells that just stubbornly refuse to die.
To really get this, let's look at how your cells normally work. Early on in life, your cells divide beautifully, repairing muscles, skin, organs, the whole shebang. And most of our cells have a built-in expiration date. It's like a tiny internal clock that eventually hits its limit and throws up a bright red stop sign. They're literally programmed to die once they get damaged. But sometimes a damaged cell glitches. It just refuses to undergo that programmed death. In the science world, we call these dysfunctional little guys senescent cells. But honestly, everyone else knows them by a way more fitting name, zombie cells. They just loiter around in your healthy tissues, stuck somewhere between the living and the dead, completely refusing to pull their weight.
Section 1. The Root of Aging.
Okay, let's dive into this, because understanding how these specific cells operate is absolutely crucial to understanding the root of aging and physical decline. These zombies aren't just innocently taking up space, they are actively causing a lot of harm. They emit something called the SASP profile. Picture this as a highly toxic dark mist just spraying out of the zombie cell, totally soaking the healthy, vibrant cells right next door. It's an intensely inflammatory chemical cocktail. And the crazy part, when a perfectly healthy cell gets hit by this toxic mist, it glitches out and turns into a zombie cell too. It's an infection that spreads completely quietly through your body.
Now, you might be wondering, why on earth doesn't our body just fight this off? Well, when we're young, our immune system is like this highly efficient elite cleanup crew. It swoops in and sweeps these zombie cells away before they can do any real damage. But as we age, our system starts looking a lot more like a worn-out security guard just sleeping on the job. And the problem is, you can't exactly fire your immune system and hire a replacement. So our defenses get sluggish, and that allows the trash, these zombie cells, to just pile up rapidly in our organs.
Section 2. Nature's Zombie Destroyers.
Don't worry though, it is definitely not all doom and gloom here. Let's shift gears a bit and look at how we can actually fight back. Enter senolytics. These are compounds specifically designed to hunt down and destroy zombie cells. Right now, in these massive, multi-billion-dollar labs, scientists are testing advanced synthetic longevity drugs. They're mixing prescription cancer meds with plant extracts to instantly dissolve zombie cells in petri dishes. Pretty sci-fi, right? But here is the truly amazing news. While those clinical cocktails are super powerful, they aren't approved for everyday public use yet. And honestly, you don't even need a medical trial to start clearing these cells out. The cure is literally sitting there, sparkling on your kitchen counter right now, in the form of super accessible, vibrant grocery store foods.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the breakdown of the most highly potent natural senolytics found in everyday whole foods. First up, we've got Fisetin. This stuff is amazing. It aggressively attacks the survival pathways of zombie cells. And your absolute best sources? Think ruby red strawberries, apple peels, and dark grapes. Next, we have Quercetin, which is basically a metabolic guardian. It throws this golden shield around your healthy cells while simultaneously forcing the surrounding zombie cells to just wither and die. And get this, the highest concentration of Quercetin found in any food on the planet? Green Mediterranean capers, closely followed by pungent red onions. But, of course, there's a catch. Just eating these foods completely on their own isn't always going to cut it. The big hurdle we face is that natural senolytics have extremely low absorption rates all by themselves. Your body actually struggles pretty hard to use these nutrients when they're isolated. So how exactly do we fix this? Well, you have to pair them correctly. Think of this process like a key smoothly sliding into a heavy steel lock to crack open a massive door. You take your quercetin source, let's say red onions or maybe asparagus, and you add a healthy fat to it, like extra virgin olive oil. Then, the secret weapon. You finish it off by grinding fresh black pepper right over the top. That exact combination, it unlocks the nutrients, letting them bypass the roadblocks so they can actually enter your bloodstream and get to work.
Section 3. The Power of Autophagy.
Dietary changes are absolutely incredible, but they're really just one tool in the toolbox. Let's look at the absolute most powerful way to activate this cellular cleanup, And honestly, the best part is that it is completely free. 16, that is the magic number. When you simply stop eating for a set 16-hour fasting window, a really profound shift happens inside of you. Your body literally runs out of external fuel, and because of that, it has no choice but to enter survival mode.
And this brilliantly illustrates a process known as autophagy, which literally translates to self-eating. I know, sounds kind of gross, but it's amazing. During this deep internal fasting state, it's like a hungry cellular recycling truck drives through your tissue pathways, just scooping up all the broken proteins and debris. Your body acts like an intense house cleaner, tossing old garbage and broken chairs into a massive backyard dumpster. It's forced to recycle its own internal trash, and it completely prioritizes the total destruction of those damaged, lingering zombie cells.
And you can actually supercharge this fasting window. While you're fasting, try drinking some organic green matcha tea. Why? Because green tea molecules act as something called senomorphics. Now, if a senolytic totally destroys a cell, a senomorphic basically acts like a muzzle. It tamps down and silences those toxic inflammatory signals. It forces those angry zombie cells to just quiet down and behave themselves while your internal spring cleaning process finishes the job.
Section 4. Sleep, Sweat, and Stress.
Okay, so we've covered the food and we've covered the fasting. But you know your daily movement and your rest are also massive triggers for flushing out cellular stagnation. Vigorous movement, we're talking lifting heavy dumbbells or running outdoors, that actually stimulates your bone marrow to produce fresh stem cells. You are actively replacing old zombies with fresh, youthful tissue. Then, you have to factor in deep, uninterrupted sleep. This is the exact time when your immune system runs its nightly cell clearance shifts. And finally, stress. Man, high stress floods your body with cortisol. And cortisol, it actually acts like a protective shield for those zombie cells. It literally helps them live longer. No way, right? So lowering your daily stress removes those survival triggers that are artificially keeping those bad cells alive.
Section 5. Your cellular renewal protocol.
So the really crucial point here is, how do we take all this amazing microscopic science and turn it into a super actionable, budget-friendly routine? Let's design a simple protocol. Honestly, you might want to grab a screenshot of this. First off, you do not need to starve yourself daily. Just implement a 16-hour fasting window 2 days out of the week. That's enough to trigger that autophagy. Then, 3 mornings a week, break your fast with a high Fisetin berry bowl. Just toss some frozen strawberries, wild blueberries, and water into a blender to flood your system with natural senolytics. And for dinner, consistently add high Quercetin side dishes. Sauté some asparagus tips and red onions in a pan with that olive oil and black pepper we talked about. It is literally that simple to support your body's metabolic cleanup crew.
Always remember, true cellular health is an ongoing lifestyle choice. It's built through consistent, everyday choices. It's definitely not about popping a magic pill. It's about opening up a kitchen cabinet and organizing whole food ingredients instead of just relying entirely on prescription bottles. This whole approach, it focuses on optimizing your cellular environment from the inside out, rather than just waiting around to manage late-stage medical symptoms when things have already gone terribly wrong. When you start applying these concepts, you're doing so much more than just extending your lifespan. You are expanding your health span, and that means increasing the actual years that you live completely free of disease and stiffness. You are basically transforming your body from this dull, sluggish, gray weight into radiant, clean, golden energy. By finally clearing out that cellular dead weight, your mitochondria can get back to producing clean energy, which effectively eliminates that persistent brain fog and heavy fatigue.
So I'll leave you with this. Are you ready to take out your cellular trash, activate your internal cleanup systems, and actually allow your body to thrive? Your body possesses this incredibly wild capacity for self-healing and total cellular renewal if you just give it the right tools. Please do not wait for chronic joint stiffness or exhaustion to completely take over before you decide to act. You have the power right now to step up and flush out the cells that refuse to die. Try making these simple dietary switches tomorrow. Turn the dial way down on that chronic inflammation and absolutely share this root cause health knowledge with your family. Because if you aren't actively clearing out the undead inside of you today, what kind of damage are they going to do tomorrow?